The night before my surgery, I didn't sleep. The doctors said they'd do their best, but their eyes told me the truth. They didn't expect me to wake up. My name is Evelyn, 78 years old. I've buried a husband, raised 2 sons, and survived more winters than I can count. But that night, I wasn't sure I'd see another sunrise. So I did what I always do when I'm scared. I prayed, and then I wrote a letter. A letter no one was supposed to read. I sealed it with shaking hands and placed it under my Bible. I told myself this is my goodbye if I don't come back. But what I didn't know was that someone would find it. Someone who wasn't supposed to. And when they did, something happened in that room, something that no doctor could explain. They say miracles only happen in stories. But this happened to me. Before I tell you what was written in that letter, I want to thank you for listening to my story. If you've ever prayed through pain or held on to faith when everyone told you to give up, this story is for you. Stay with me till the end, because what happened after that letter was read might just make you believe again. The hospital gets quiet after midnight. Even the walls stop whispering. The only sound I could hear was the clock above my bed, ticking like it was counting down the hours I had left. I looked at that picture and whispered, "Henry, if you can hear me, just stay close tonight." My heart felt heavy, not from fear of dying, but from the thought of leaving things unsaid. My son didn't make it that night. He said he'd try, but work was busy. That's the thing about sickness. It shows you who has time for you, and who's just passing through your life. I opened this Bible and my fingers landed on a verse I'd underlined years ago. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. I whispered those words until my voice shook. Then I took a piece of paper from the drawer. I didn't plan it, it just came to me. I started writing. To my son, Marcus, if you're reading this, it means I didn't make it through the surgery. But don't let grief turn your heart bitter. I forgive you for the distance, for the silence, for not coming tonight. I know life pulls you away, but love always finds its way back. I wrote about my faith, about Henry, about the day Marcus was born, and how his cry made me believe in miracles again. Every word felt like a goodbye I wasn't ready to say. When I finished, I folded that letter, kissed it once, and placed it under my Bible. I told God, if this is my last night, let my words reach where my voice cannot. I didn't know that prayer was about to be answered, just not the way I expected. The next morning, I was rolled into surgery, lights so bright I couldn't see anything but white. I closed my eyes, whispered one last prayer, and that's when everything went silent. I don't remember the moment my heart stopped. 1 minute I was praying under the lights. The next, there was nothing. No pain, no noise. Just stillness. They tell me my heart flatlined for 4 minutes. The doctors had covered my face with a sheet. But I remember every sound, the shuffle of their shoes, the nurse whispering, "Time of death, 10:47 antes do meio-dia." I wasn't angry. I wasn't scared. It felt peaceful, like God had pressed pause on the world. And then I heard something, a voice, soft, trembling. "Her Bible's still open," someone said. Another replied, "There's a letter under it." Nurse whispering. To my son Marcus, every word she read filled the room with something that didn't feel earthly. Forgiveness, grace, light. She read it aloud, tears falling onto my sheet. "I forgive you. Love always finds its way back." The doctors froze. The nurse dropped the paper. "Doctor," she whispered her heart. "They said it was impossible. They said no one comes back after 4 minutes without damage." But when I opened my eyes, the first thing I saw was that nurse, holding my letter with both hands and crying. "You came back," she whispered. I smiled as much as the tubes allowed. "No," I said. "He sent me back." They called it a medical anomaly. I called it mercy. Because in that cold room, my words, not my pulse, carried life. When I woke up fully, they told me the nurse's name. And when I heard it, my heart nearly stopped again. Because the person who found my letter wasn't a stranger. It was someone who'd been part of my story long before that morning. When I opened my eyes, the room was quiet, almost too quiet. I could still hear the faint echo of that voice reading my words. My body was weak, but my heart, it felt stronger than ever. The nurse smiled, her eyes red from crying. "You scared us," she said. I tried to speak, but my throat was dry. "How long?" I whispered. 4 minutes, she said. "Your heart stopped for 4 whole minutes. But when I read your letter," the nurse's voice cracked. "I don't know how to explain it." The room felt different, warm, like someone else was here. "You read my letter?" I asked softly. The nurse nodded. "It was right under your Bible. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to invade your privacy. But something told me I had to." "You weren't invading anything," I said. "You were meant to." "There's something I should tell you," she said. "My name is Elise. Elise Johnson." Grandma's eyes widen. The name hits her like a memory she buried decades ago. "Elise," I whispered. "That was my daughter's name." The nurse froze. "Your daughter?" "Yes, but she passed away 30 years ago. She would have been your age now. Maybe that's why I found your letter. Maybe I was meant to." Her words settled into my heart like a hymn. The same name, the same gentle voice, the same eyes deep and kind. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in callings. "Thank you for coming back," Elise whispered. "We all needed to see that faith still works." I smiled. "It wasn't faith that brought me back," I said. "It was love." That day, the doctors called it science. The staff called it luck, but I knew better. When I closed my eyes under that sheet, I didn't see darkness, I saw light, and in that light, I heard a whisper. "You're not done yet." That's why I tell this story, not because I died, but because I lived. Because sometimes, miracles don't shout. They whisper. I still keep that letter in my bedside drawer. Every time I feel my faith fading, I read it again. And I remember that love. The kind that lives on after the heartbeat stops, never dies. Sometimes, I sit by this window and think about that day, the day the doctor covered my face. And I came back, not to change the world, but to remind it that love still moves through it. That letter was never meant to be read, but maybe God had other plans. Maybe it wasn't a goodbye. Maybe it was a bridge between heaven and here. I used to think miracles came with thunder and light, bright, loud, undeniable, but I learned they can come quietly too. In the hands of a stranger, in a name you've heard before, in the sound of your own heart, learning how to beat again. The doctors say it was luck. The nurses say it was timing. But I know it was mercy. Mercy that found me when I had nothing left to give. And if you're watching this, and you've been praying for a miracle, don't give up yet. Even when the world goes quiet, heaven is still listening. I died once, but I came back with a story about forgiveness. About second chances. About a love that refused to stay buried. My name is Evelyn Grace, and this was the day I came back to life. Thank you for listening to my story. If it touched your heart, don't forget to like and subscribe, not for me, but to keep faith alive. Watch till the end, because sometimes that's where the miracle happens.